Leaving the comfort zone. This is a scary one. Let's talk about it.
Lemmy good news. Lemmy good news. Lemmy good news. Lemmy good news.
So today, I just want to give you a little example about leaving your comfort zone. Why it's so important. Why some people say don't leave your comfort zone. It's not good now. I'm here to tell you, it changes everything. So my background used to be gymnastics coach. First job I ever had was at Long John Silver's frying fish. I got marks on my hands years ago, still from frying fish. And it was the best job ever. Now, I know people who are still with that company. They're making the same old salary that they made years ago, probably a couple of dollars more due to inflation. And it's one of those deals. That's where they want to stay. They don't think that there's nothing else out there for them. Okay. So when I was 16 years old, I worked there. And then I was like, man, I worked there because my sister worked there and I wanted to get out of high school. And I didn't want to go to college. I did not want to go to college. I didn't see myself there. I didn't like learning in school. School was boring for me, okay? So I decided that I was going to get out of high school early. I wanted to make sure I did everything possible not to go through those 6 classes. Was it 7? Don't remember. 7 classes a day. I think it was 6 a day. And on my last year, I quit the band. I quit gymnastics team. I quit everything. And what did I do? I applied myself that junior year so I could only have to go to school for 2 hours and then go work. It was great. Think about that. I knew that I was on a mission. I wanted to make money. That's what I wanted to do. Okay? And this is not a making money video, by the way. So stay with me. You're going to love this. So I did all that. I applied myself to get to a point where I could leave my senior year and go work. I thought that was the best thing. So I was stuck at Long John Silver's from 12 o'clock until like 8 o'clock at night. It's the best thing ever because I was getting money. I was getting paid. I didn't know what was going on my senior year. Didn't go to the prom. Didn't do none of that because I didn't care. I was not interested in school at all. I was taking some night gymnastics classes from like 9 to 10, some tumbling classes because that's what I used to do. I used to tumble and flip in the park back then. Some of you guys are like, flip at a park? What's a park? Just kidding. But some of you old schoolers know what parks are. And we would go and I wanted to learn new skills, okay? At that time, best friend of mine, we were there and a guy came in with these glass mirrors. He happened to be the owner of this gymnastics place. And he said, hey, when do you guys want to learn how to, teach gymnastics? The first thing I said was, I do, because I knew I didn't want to be stuck frying fish, getting grease and marks on me for the rest of my life. Okay? I said, I do. And they were like, all right, well, come and fill out application. Pretty much you're going to be hired. I knew I was in. My guy, he was like in a family business down the road where the gymnastics place was. He hated his job. He hated every day he'd come home because we were roommates. He'll come home. He's like, man, I hate this job. He worked for his grandpa. It was so mean. The family was so mean to him. But that was the only thing he knew was the family business. And I kept telling him, dude, you need to find something different since you hate it so much. He ended up becoming a cop, believe it or not, which is great. A great detective, okay? But I continued to teach gymnastics, and I didn't realize when I took on the job, I was going to have to work with girls my age and little kids. Talking about comfort zone, because I'm like, I got 6 sisters and I couldn't stand, at the time, I couldn't stand girls. I didn't want to be around girls. And I put myself in a position where I would have to be dealing with girls all day long. And I thought, you dummy, why'd you do this? Work with the younger kids, people's babies. Everyone has their kids and they're precious no matter what. Those kids can be bad, and mom and dad just thinks these kids are the greatest thing ever, right? Not really. But talking about coming out your comfort zone, I had to make sure that I was the best coach available for those kids and parents at the time. We're talking about doctors, lawyers, CEOs. These are who are bringing their kids to gymnastics because gymnastics is not cheap. It's pretty expensive when you think about it. What I did throughout the years And it was great. You know, I had a gymnastics coach there that I thought to myself, I want to be like that guy. I want to do what he's doing. He seems like he's amazing. Didn't know him at the time. He was my coach. I didn't know him personally, what was going on in his life, but I knew that he was the top of the line gymnastics coach. Everyone loved him. I loved him too. He was great. John, shout out to John if you're watching this. I said I wanted to be just like him. But throughout the years, I became a great coach, and they promoted me to teach team, which I had no idea what I was doing. I was teaching team gymnastics, and I started with the boys program. The boys program was awesome because it's me and the little homies. We did our thing. We traveled together. It was so great. The parents was great. And then we were winning state championships and all that. It was great. I was in my zone. Understand? Then the boss switched over. The guy who hired me switched over to another guy, and he's more like business type dude. He's like, hey, I need you to come to my office. Oh, I knew that was not good. Need you to come to my office. And he was like, hey, I need you to teach these girls, because him and my dude, my teacher, who was the best, they had a little out team. They had a fight or something. He was like, I need you to take over that team. I'm like, dude, I can't take over those teams. Understand, I was about 17 or 18 at the time, and he was teaching 15 and 14-year-old gymnasts, elite gymnasts. How are they going to listen to me? I'm just 3 years older than him. How is that possible? He was like, I know what you've done with those boys. I'm pretty confident you can do with those girls. Pretty much, I was like, man, I don't want to teach them. I don't want to deal with the parents. I don't want to deal with the kids. You know, these little teenage girls are hormonal and this and that. I don't want to deal with it. I know how girls are because, like I said, I have 2 younger and 2 older girls. He said, trust me, I know you can do this. This is probably going to be the best thing you've ever done in your life. You're not going to like it. And he said, you need to get out of your comfort zone and deal with this, because otherwise you're getting a raise and you're going to have to do it anyway. I had 2 choices. I was going to either have to quit or be forced into teaching these girls. And guess what? I ended up teaching those girls. It wasn't fun. A few moved off, which is great. And then I brought up a younger team, and it was like, it was scary. But I thought to myself, all right, well, you've done this before. You can do this. Just do it. Just see what, give it a week. You know, first week was great. And I was like, all right, give it 3 years. 3 years went by, learned everything I knew about gymnastics, which brings me to this point. Had I not come out of that comfort zone and moved forward, you know what would have happened? I would have been still stuck at that gym, still teaching gymnastics to this day. While teaching these kids, I learned that YouTube was something great. I started learning skills from YouTube. I started putting videos on YouTube, trying to help other people learn what to do when it came to certain things on vaults or bars, high bar. It was great, man. It was great. And so I realized that coming out your comfort zone can pretty much help you move to the next level. If you're stuck and you're uncertain about things that it's not going to work, you're right. It's not going to work, because the first thing you tell yourself, it's going to happen. But if you think it will work, then it will happen. Henry Ford said, if you think you can, you're right. If you think you can't, you're still right. Lemmy Moore is saying, and he's adding on to Henry Ford, I'm like, make a choice. If you're having issues with your comfort zone today, ladies and gentlemen, do this. Do yourself a favor. Write it down. Figure out why this is so important to you, or why you think you're going to fail. And if you can't come up with 100 reasons why it won't work, 100 reasons why it won't work, then you better move forward. I remember hearing one of these guys talk. He's on TV, Steve Harvey. He said, write down 300 things that you want in life. I wrote down 300 things I wanted in life. Get out your comfort zone. I'm Lemmy Moore. Hope you have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.
Lemmy good news. Lemmy good news. Lemmy good news. Lemmy good news.